Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to a new year. It's 2025. You know what a new year means? New plants. We are bringing it to you here on MrMaple.com.
Y'all, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to us here on the Mr. Maple Show. And guys, we're going to talk about 10 new trees that get listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on January 7th of 2025. Crazy.
Let's start it out with not a maple, but one of my all-time favorite plants, y'all. We're bringing back Staria Pseudocamellia Pewter. Now, I think this is one of the most next-level plants we grow. Pewter is a Staria Pseudocamellia, so you get all that awesome bark, you get all that awesome fall color, you get all that awesome flower. But on top of that, you get a blue-green kind of variegation to this one. It has a unique style, color to it, kind of a glossy sheen to the leaf as well. Absolutely next level plant.
Yeah, I mean, you get the bark that's almost like a crepe myrtle as it matures. You get that gray and brown flaking. The fall color is like a maple. I mean, everything about this tree is just showy. It's a 4-season interest tree out there in the landscape. One thing I recommend with Stordias, though, find the happy place where you want to plant it, and don't try transplanting it. Stordias don't like being transplanted around in the garden, so find a spot and leave it there. Wants good drainage and some organic matter when planting.
Now, I have this tree in my garden. It's about 10 feet tall now. I have it planted next to Amber Ghost and Michael Steinhardt for contrast. It's one of the coolest deciduous plants you'll see. Staria truly gets some of that blue-green, like almost like a swirling, like a glossy sheen to it. It's so next level. I mean, you know how much I like Amber Ghost. People hear me talk about it all the time. That's why I put that near this, because the color contrast is out of this world.
This is a tree that goes well with your Japanese maples and is just very unique and different with that sort of blue-green kind of color, that silver sheen, that pewter color on the foliage itself. It's a tree that you're gonna love.
Now, if you don't know much about Staria Pseudocamellia, you're gonna get bark like a crepe myrtle, you're gonna get phenomenal fall color like a maple, you're gonna get blooms like a camellia. So all that on top of being next level foliage, guys, it's one of my all-time favorite plants. Well branched, well grown, good sizes, y'all. Staria Pseudocamellia Pewter, grab you one today. All right, Tim, what do we got next?
Guys, we're bringing back Acer Pum Moonrise. We got another set in, and I'm telling you guys, this is one of the best Acer Pum. It's got that really unique sort of apricot, sort of pink kind of color that just keeps coming across this malting phase. It's one of the most heat tolerant and one of the most vigorous Acer Pum selections. It's easy to grow and it's really beautiful.
Yeah, this one really is the standard for Acer Pum. I love Moonrise. It's getting really popular in Europe. Introduction by our friend Carl Munn. It is so next level. I find that it outperforms Autumn Moon and Golden Full Moon here in the South. Love those color changes though. What really makes this one so popular is that early spring, you can get orangish, pink, red, yellow, all at the same time, all in the same plant. I mean, we were walking around Flora Farm last year and there were probably like 8 or 9 4 to 5 foot Moonrise all in this one section. And I mean, I thought I was in heaven. Like, they just glow. It's got that early spring color going on. Had to film a little short walking around there because so next level. You're gonna love Moonrise. If you hadn't already grown this one, you gotta have it in your collection. It's such a next level plant.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like the same colors that you get out of Flamethrower Redbud, but on a maple. And you get that on a Japanese maple with that full moon leaf. Y'all, it's a next level plant. You're gonna love it. We've been growing it for years here at Mr. Maple. To me, it's one of the best Acer Pum you can have. Typically
zones 5 through 9 on this one, and then you're gonna be somewhere in that kind of 6 to 8 foot range, typically in 10 years. Great grower, round canopy to it, large Acer Pum leaves. There's a lot to love about Moonrise. You guys like the branching? How about the branching on these low grass, Buckholz grown, Golden Falls. Buckholz introduction, guys. These things are phenomenal. These are in our 2-gallon sizes. They're well shaped, they're architectural, they're instant gratification, awesome sizes. They also got a little bit of serpentine to them too.
Yeah, I kind of like how they twist and curl and just have that strong weeping habit. The yellow color these provide out there in the garden is, you know, one of the best. And it's got it in that cascading umbrella form with that palmate Ryusen style leaf. Y'all, it's one of those Japanese maples that gives you some amazing spring interest too. I mean, it has that Katsura look to it in the early spring with an orange-red border around each and every leaf. Golden Falls, next level plant. If you don't have it, we got some awesome 2 gallons here today.
These 2s are great for sizes right away. They make instant impact. You know, great for a big patio planter. Get a big patio planter that's colorful, blue, orange, something like that. Go ahead and put this in there. You're gonna get so much color contrast going on with this tree. I like to move it around too. You can stake this up to about 5 to 6 feet tall, let it weep down from there. Golden Falls is one of the more heat tolerant of the yellow ones. Typically still recommend late day shade in your heavier zone 8 and zone 9. Gonna work zones 5 through 9. Grows about as fast as you stake it. So if you want a faster growing tree, get a bigger stake. An easy way to stake trees up even higher than 6 foot is an old tent stake. That's a great way to kind of get some added height if you want to manipulate the shape of this one. Absolutely beautiful plant though, and great sizes here today.
And Golden Falls is a great way to add that third color out there in the landscape. People typically have a weeping red lace leaf, and sometimes they have a green. This gives you that weeping habit, not a lace leaf with that palmate leaf, but with that yellow color. Just giving you that third dynamic out there. Pairs well with Bloodgoods, Emperor Ones, Tamukiyamas. Most of your red Japanese maples, this is going to just give that amazing color contrast right against it. Y'all, get your Golden Falls today.
Tim says pair everything with summer gold. I'm gonna start saying pair everything with Macaulay Yatsubusa. It was our number one, or it's upcoming number one. It could be the podcast out soon. It's normally number one in sales each year for us. So pair this with a Macaulay Yatsubusa. All right, let's bring back one of my all-time favorites. It was high on my list for most underrated trees. I absolutely love this plant. I'm planning on, in 2025, breaking the market on this thing. We're gonna get it in heavy production at Buckholz. People are gonna start to find out how awesome Ruen Shadari is.
Ruen Shadari is at a temple in Japan, and then, you know, one of our good friends tried to go get cuttings from her, asked permission, and they told him no. Well, he went by, got some cuttings anyways. The tsunami happened. And
as nurserymen do sometimes.
Yeah, the tsunami came and wiped out the original tree at the temple. And, you know, our good friend came back and gave them a Ruen Shadari and said, this is the importance of sharing.
It's one of the best plants, guys. I love this. It's a Ryusen style that I don't think is in the lineage of Ryusen, Nakakomoto Weeping. Guys, this thing has large Emoenum style leaves, almost more like a Sakazuki, more like a Hogyoku style leaf to it, but in a weeping format. That makes it so next level to me. I love that big foliage with a pendulous nature to it. Excellent fall color. It is one of the best golden yellow fall colors. The fall color, it's almost like a weeping green star. That's a great way to think of it. It's like green star fall color, weeping habit to it. This thing is so next level. Pair this with Osakazuki, you're not going to be disappointed. This is one of the best yellows of all the maples in the fall. Rivals ginkgos for its golden yellow appeal.
Now, when I first saw this in Japan, they had it staked straight up, and all the branches were just cascading downward, and it was in perfect yellow fall color with those big leaves. That's so starkly different from what we know of weeping, you know, palmate leaves. And so this is a tree that's going to add some dynamics in the garden with that larger leaf, but also with some really good fall color of that bright yellow in the fall.
Grab your Ruen Shadari today, one of my favorites. I know a lot of people have been waiting on this one. Let's bring back Acer Pum CYO. This is one from the Emperor's Garden that a lot of people have been waiting on. A Talon Buckholz introduction, maybe a little less known Talon Buckholz introduction, but I will say the people, I've had a lot of requests to bring this one back.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many cool Japanese maples with stories. We just finished talking about one that came from a temple. This one came from the Emperor's Garden, which is named Kokyo, which is in Tokyo, Japan. This originated as a seedling from that garden, and it has a bronze spring coloration. It's a green later on in the summer, and then goes to some brilliant shades of orange in the fall. So you can actually get a tree that originated in the Emperor's Garden in Japan.
Pair it with your Ruen Shadari.
And this is going to have an orange fall color. The Ruen Shadari is going to have a yellow. I mean, you can really get the taste of Japan with some fun stories into gardening. And that's what I love about Japanese maples is the history behind each and every plant.
Great Talon Buckholz introduction here. You know, he found that seedling there from the Emperor's Garden. Typically 6 to 8 foot in 10 years. Small, upright, beautiful coloration to it. Fall color's underrated. Great orange on there. I think you're going to love this one. I have had a lot of requests to bring it back. A lot of people trying to complete that whole Flora Wonder collection. I know a lot of people don't have this one, so it is returning here today. I would definitely check out with this one and go back and add other things to the cart. I do think it'll sell out today. What's next, Tim?
Guys, next up we've got Acer Pum albajo in these small 1 gallons. This is one of the most, one of the rare selections in that Makawa-like family. It's got that tightly layering habit. It makes a nice little ball shape. And then this one goes to mostly yellows in the fall with a little bit of orange.
Yeah, really bold yellow. I've had orange late. I don't know if we consider it part of the Makawa family. I guess a lot of people do. Tight, dense, unique habit to it. I know it's super different. I actually love pairing this one with Makawa because of the structure of it. Tends to be a little bit more globular shape, but it definitely has that tightness to it. Again, zones 5 through 9. Albajo is a perfect candidate for a container garden or small area garden. Looks great in conifer gardens as well. Small, dense, compact, but it brings a lot of interest.
I do recommend giving albajo some protection from the hot afternoon sun in hotter climates, but this is one of those trees that's really rare. You don't see it that frequently. And we try to make it available as much as possible because we know you love the Makawa family collection, and our goal is to make all those available as frequently as possible.
This one is as classic as Hup's Dwarf or as Makawa. I mean, pair the three together. Something like Lima Gold's kind of in that vein as well, unique, different, but a little bit outside the box characteristic-wise. Let's bring back Acer Pseudosubaldianum subspecies Takasamense.
I think we have a video where we do a cultivar highlight on this, and we go around and interview all of our employees at the time, asking if they can actually say this name correctly.
They loved that one too.
They loved that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's a mouthful. A lot of people call it the Oolong Dew Island Maple. A lot of people have been asking me how this one is different from Acer Pseudosubaldianum. Now, Acer Pseudosubaldianum is typically a smaller leaf, denser, less tropical looking. This one is going to be more columnar. So Takasamense has a larger leaf, looks a little bit more japonicum, looks a little bit more cartoonish in the leaf shape. So like big round leaves to it, typically bigger than the other species. Subspecies are typically defined by their location, but also, genetic differences. So this one's completely different. I do find that Acer Pseudosubaldianum subspecies Pseudosubaldianum tends to want to be more multi-stemmed, where Acer Pseudosubaldianum subspecies Takasamense, it's like a tongue twister today, tends to be more narrow and columnar in its habit. Now that's one of the things I like best about this plant. I did a top 5 columnar plants, Japanese maples, and this one had to be on that list. Naturally, the species is very narrow and thin. I actually have one up next to one of my porches, and it's an enclosed porch, and I love that because the tree gives me all that amazing fall color, but it's not encroached on the porch.
And with Takasamense, it originates on Oolong Dew Island, which is between Japan and North Korea. And so there's this little island there that gets the Siberian winds that hit it from coming in from Russia. And that's what makes Takasamense so cold tolerant, is it's naturally from a very cold region, gets some really cold winds and some cold temperatures there on Oolong Dew Island. But for most people, they think this is a Japanese maple because it looks like a Japanese maple. It's grafted to a Japanese maple. And y'all, it's got some just killer fall color with that full moon style leaf.
I absolutely love this. It's one of my all-time favorite maple species. It's just cool. I think it's one of the best fall colors you can get to. Lush green in the spring. I've had oranges, reds, and yellows all at the same time, rivaling any Japonicum, passing most of the Japonicums in your collection. Again, it's one I have there in my garden, and it's one of my all-time favorites.
You have it right off your porch. I mean, it's one of the first trees you see when you're walking out of Matt's front door.
It's actually really close to that pewter and that amber ghost I was talking about. So I kind of have all three, and then I've got a Michael Steinhoff off here to the side to kind of bring that yellow in. But I love this one. It is just so next level. If you love Japonicums, it's not a Japonicum, but it's going to fit into that collection so nicely. Big, round leaves to it, super next level.
Y'all, grab you one of these today. Guys, next up, we've got Acer Pomatum Baby Ghost.
These are some big, ghostly babies right here. These things are huge, great size, 1 gallons. A little bit rarer than a lot of the other Ghost series. So you don't see this one as common, guys. Great sizes in these. Love it. It's got some light pink reds to it, especially in the early spring. Reticulated foliage. Baby Ghost has smaller foliage and typically only gets about 6 to 7 foot, so it's a little smaller stature than many of the other Ghost series.
Yeah, it's one of the slowest growing of the Ghost series with that reticulated variegation. Gives you some sort of kind of pink kind of colors in the early spring, pink reds with some good strong reticulation. Y'all, it's got this semi-pendulous habit, so it just sort of semi-cascades. The original one sits at Kubota Gardens in Seattle, Washington, and it was a real beauty to go see. You can go check out that walkthrough we did at Kubota Gardens to see it.
I did some research on horror films, and Baby Ghost is actually the scariest of the entire Ghost series because people are always afraid of kids. If you look at any scary movie, they're terrified of kids. So Baby Ghost has to be the scariest ghost.
Not scared of grandma, not scared of sister. Baby,
yeah.
That's pretty frightening.
I've got 3 babies. I mean, what does Baby Ghost do? Just keep you up at night? I don't know. Grab you one today.
She take my money when I'm in need.
All right, guys, we got some giant gold diggers. These things are amazing. Grab these now before Tim puts them in 7 gallons. I mean, these things are beefy. They're ready to go out right away. Giant instant impact in these 1 gallon XLs. And Gold Digger is a phenomenal winter interest plant.
Yeah, shout out to Laddie Munger. He's the one that found this tree as a chance seedling from the J.C. Rouston Arboretum. He was a volunteer there. And he found this just as this random seedling that he got from Sengokaku. And it had some really unique colors. He's growing this in deep shade, and it really had this nice pale yellow bark. A little more sunlight, you get some of the coral tips to it. But he said, guys, you need to graft this. And, he sent us some photos of it, and Matt and I were pretty shocked. It really has a unique color for that winter interest.
I like Tim impersonating Jamie Foxx, impersonating Ray Charles. So, who are you really impersonating there? Is it Ray Charles or Jamie Foxx? I love Gold Digger. It's phenomenal, guys. You know, that bark interest on this one. You've heard us talk about it a lot. It's a Mr. Maple Area 51 named here. Great plant, pinks, reds, and yellows on the bark. A lot of red as it goes into winter. So a lot of people go, it almost looks like a coral bark. You send me the wrong plant. And then as it gets into the cooler months, you're gonna get more yellows, pastel colors, and pinks going on in there. Now, in the early spring, this one actually blushes pink all over it too, making it a very unique plant. And guys, I can't state this enough. These sizes, well branched. Look at these 1 gallons. Phenomenal sizes. These are ready for bigger sizes. And if you don't pick them up today, I'll definitely pot them up to bigger sizes.
Yeah, grab one of these today.
All right, last but not least, we've got some big boy sizes, guys. These are Nebula. Look at this thing. What size is this, Tim?
We've got them in some 7 gallons. Y'all, Nebula is a strong, upright, reticulated Japanese maple with some amazing colors in the early spring that remind you of the Milky Way galaxy. It just has this really nice ghost reticulation where it keeps changing throughout the seasons too. I mean, you can get some creams in there, you can get some pinks, you can get some sort of unique shades of like pink-orange colors on Nebula. It's next level.
I love it. New Talon Buckholz introduction. This one's one of the new ghosts from that 401 collection as well. Great sizes in these. These are 7s. They're well branched, guys. I mean, these are huge. Probably can't even see the top of this thing. These things are massive. Ready to go out and make instant gratification, instant impact. Absolutely love the foliage on this. It's so next level. Typically wider toward the center, darker colors toward the outer part. You get some just crazy shades of pink and purple. Absolutely love it. There's not much you can't say about Nebula. It's one of the better new ghosts. It actually has a little bit more upright habit to it as well, so it arches, a lot of that branching arches up. Pairs amazing with any of the ghost series, but if you just want a showstopper centerpiece for a Japanese maple, Nebula is a great choice.
It's also one of the better fall colors. I mean, it has some really nice shades of red in the fall, and it's been very vigorous and heat tolerant for us too. Nebula, next level tree. Make sure you get you a Nebula.
Guys, make sure to check out today at 10 a.m. These will all be listed on Mr. Maple. That's 10 a.m. Eastern. So for that guy in the comments that said, hey, these aren't up, it's 2025. We're going to be super nice to that guy, but we're going to let him know they all happen at 10 a.m. today. We appreciate everybody joining these live chats. There's a lot of fun going on in the live chats when these air. So hop in there, be part of that Maple Mafia community.
And remember, we've got the secret 10 in that weekly email. You can sign up on MrMaple.com. There's 10 more on top of these 10 we talked about. So a total of 20 trees getting listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on MrMaple.com.
Guys, we're excited about 2025. It feels like, you know, we only moved forward a couple days, right? But it feels like spring's that much closer because it's 2025. You know, we're going to be out of winter soon. It's going to be springtime. I can't wait to see some of the garden in leaf. We got a bunch of fun things in store for you here on MrMaple.com. We appreciate you shopping with us today.
Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.